Is your business struggling to grow and reach its full potential? What if I told you that by the end of this video, you will be able to get brand new potential customers for your business by tomorrow for free? Every small business owner understands the conundrum. To build a profitable business, I need to invest heavily in marketing. In order to invest heavily in marketing, I need to have a profitable business. Do you see how that's crazy? And impossible? Which begs the question, what do you do in a business if you start with no money? In this video, we are going to go over 5 methods of generating potential customers organically. That means with no money. And at the end of the video, I will share with you how I used some of these tactics to generate $10,000 worth of revenue for my business in one day. Before we jump into the 5 methods, I want to take a second to explain why people choose to pay for marketing. Why not choose to do marketing for free forever? That's because paying for marketing is a way to buy back your own time. For most small businesses, especially the ones that are just starting out, you as the business owner have an excess of time, but you might not have an excess of money. You can exchange that excess of time to generate interest in your goods or services. And then once your business has become profitable, it makes more financial sense to exchange your time by paying for marketing and utilizing your time in a more profitable way. So continue watching this video if you're in a position with your business where you're willing to exchange time to get more customers. Method number 1 is to post your goods or services on Craigslist. Now, most of you who are under the age of 30 probably don't even know what Craigslist is. When the internet first came out, Craigslist was the primary way that people would sell goods and services. It was like the 2005 version of Facebook Marketplace. But believe it or not, there's still a ton of business that gets done on Craigslist every single month. About 250 million people use the site monthly. Now, obviously, if you sell a physical product, you can simply post that physical product for sale on Craigslist. But if you have a service-based business, there is a different section within Craigslist where you can offer your services. And of course, you're not limited to just doing one post. You can do multiple posts in multiple categories. My recommendation on Craigslist is to post at least 3 times per day until you get some traction. And I would post in a variety of categories as well to see what works best. One caution that I would have against Craigslist is that I would not put my contact information in the body of the ad. There are scammers on Craigslist and I don't want your phone to get blown up. I personally know people who have built massive agencies only advertising on Craigslist, so it is possible. Method number 2 is to capitalize on local meetups. Believe it or not, no matter what your industry is, there is most likely a local group that meets up to discuss business in that industry. And you can typically find where these groups meet through social media. I have found that this method works particularly well with the trades. If you own a plumbing shop or you're an electrician or you have a roofing business, reason being is the most common type of meetup are real estate investor meetups. These are real estate agents or people who flip houses. Now sure, maybe you don't want to go and flip a house or you don't want to become a real estate agent, but every real estate agent or house flipper needs to have a Rolodex of tradesmen that can help them on their projects. A real estate agent might need a roofer, for example, because they're trying to sell a house that needs a roof replaced. And if that agent's client needs a roof replaced, that agent needs to be able to call somebody right away. And you could be that person. This is also true if you're a house flipper. There are many house flippers out there that flip 100+ houses every single year. So you could potentially land one customer and get yourself 100 jobs a year. Huge return on investment. It's definitely worth your time to go to these meetups if you're in the trades. But there are meetups in every industry. The meetup in your industry might not even be local. It might actually be virtual. So get prepared to go onto a Zoom call and start mingling with potential clients. My recommendation before going to a meetup is to routinely practice your elevator pitch. An elevator pitch is simply everything that a potential customer needs to know about your business in the length of time it would take for you to ride in an elevator, which is typically like 30 seconds. If it takes you longer than 30 seconds to explain everything that's valuable about your business, you need to keep practicing. And once you've got it under that 30-second mark, you're ready to go to a meetup. So get out there and get some clients. Method number 3 is utilizing social media. Now, the obvious thing to do on social media is to post on your social media pages about your new business to see if anybody's interested. Now, that might get you a couple of clients from your friends and family, but unless you have an existing large following, that's only going to extend to those that you know. So most people on social media that are potentially interested in your goods and services aren't going to see your post. So there's a better way to promote your business, and this is done through social media groups. Every social media platform has a groups function or something similar, except maybe TikTok. I don't think TikTok does. And there are all kinds of groups. There is certainly a group that is associated to your niche on social media. And most likely there's going to be many groups in your area about your specific niche. You should join all of them. Now, when it comes to generating clientele on social media groups, there are two primary methods. There's the fast method and the slow method. Now, if you want to get clients tomorrow, use the fast method. And that is simply posting about the goods and services that you offer within those groups. When you post about the goods and services that you have in a group that's specifically interested in your niche, then the likelihood of them reaching out to you to ask for your goods and services are much higher. One thing I would warn you against is you definitely don't want to spam post on these groups. The owners of these groups can be very particular, and if you post about your goods and services multiple times a day, most likely you'll get kicked out of the group, and that's very sad. But a post in a group like that can get you customers instantly. That's the quick method. Here's the long method. In conjunction to posting your goods and services in these groups, you should interact with the people in these groups. So for example, let's say that you have a catering business and you join a group that's all about catering. When somebody else in the group posts a question or a problem or a concern about catering in the group, you should go and you should comment on that post. Be as helpful as you possibly can to all the different people within the group. This isn't going to get you clients today or tomorrow, but over time, you are going to become a recognizable voice in that group. By building a good reputation in a group, when you do decide to post about your goods and services, that post will be higher quality to the people in the group because you've built a good name for yourself. If you foresee your business generating clientele on social media for the long run, I highly recommend the slow method. Method number 4. Door knocking. Now, when some of you hear me say door knocking, your first reaction is going to be, yuck. I will never do that. There's a couple things I want to say before unpacking this method. Firstly, if you are unwilling to talk to a stranger about your goods and services, then maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't start a business offering those goods and services. And secondly, if you are a brand new business, door knocking is one of the best ways to get feedback about the goods and services that you offer. I've seen time and time again entrepreneurs start businesses and they think in their mind that they know exactly what their potential customers would want from them. And then they build their goods or services around what they think their customers are going to want. The problem is, most of the time, we're wrong. We might kind of know what our potential customers want, but we won't fully know what they want until we talk to them. Offering your goods and services via door knocking is one of the best ways to get real, in-person feedback on how valuable your goods and services actually are. Of course, doing door knocking might get you a couple of customers, which will make you some money, and that's great. But what it will also do is force you to make a better version of your goods and services, and that will pay you dividends for years and years to come. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. So how do you do door knocking most effectively? Well, there's a couple of things to keep in mind when doing door knocking. First of all, you need to have your introduction and your elevator pitch memorized. If you can't explain everything that a customer needs to know about your goods and services in 30 seconds, you need to keep practicing. Also, you can be strategic about the doors that you knock on. For example, let's say you do high-end construction work. Well, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for you to do door knocking in a trailer park because those are not high-end homes. It would make much more sense for you to go door knocking in a high-end neighborhood. That makes way too much sense. So have an idea of who your ideal customer would be, and then knock in the neighborhoods where you believe your ideal customer would live. And don't get discouraged if you don't get a yes in your first 5, 10, or even 100 doors. But after knocking on 1,000 doors, you will get customers, and you will be so much better at your elevator pitch and offering your goods and services. Now, if your business sells B2B or business to business, the idea of door knocking still applies. Instead, you would just knock on the doors of the potential customers in your industry, right? That makes sense. Method number 5, utilizing your own contact list. This is my favorite method, and this is the one where I can guarantee that you will get a potential customer if you follow exactly what I say. Most people have between 200 and 600 contacts in their cell phone, and these contacts range from old friends or family members or old coworkers and everybody you know. And here is the script that you should use to pull potential customers from your contact list. You can do this via a phone call or via a text message. I prefer doing it via a phone call, but a text message can work as well. And here's the script. Hello, person's name. I was just reaching out about my new business that does kitchen remodel work. Now, I know that you are probably not looking for remodel work, but I thought you might know of somebody who is in need of a kitchen remodel. Let me know if you know anyone who would be a good fit. I really appreciate it. Here's why that script works really well. Obviously, nobody wants to be a pariah to their family and friends. But if I reach out to my contact list and I ask them if they know anybody who could use these services, it brings their guard down a lot. Now, sometimes they'll actually have somebody in mind for you. And if that's the case, bam, you got a potential customer. But what's actually more common than that is when you ask them if they know somebody who needs a kitchen remodel, they might reach back out to you and say, actually, I need a kitchen remodel. And then boom, you got yourself a potential customer. Either way, reaching out to your contact list in this way does both lead generation for you and branding so that in the future, if they want your goods and services, they can reach out. Side note, if you're not willing to contact the people in your phone contact list about your new business, then you probably should not have started that business. That's all I'm saying. And as promised, I'm going to share with you how I use some of these methods to generate $10,000 worth of revenue in a business in one day. Many years ago, I had a concept for a business that I wanted to try out. This was a commercial real estate education business. Now, I knew a lot about commercial real estate at the time, and I wasn't sure if there was a marketplace for me to teach people to do what I did in commercial real estate. So I tested the market, and I did two things. Firstly, there were a couple of commercial real estate Facebook groups that I was a part of, and I was an active member in those groups helping people and building a good reputation. So when I posted in those groups that I'm doing a 2-day education for commercial real estate, people reached out to me immediately. I also used the phone contacts method. And yes, I used the exact same script that I taught you. Hey there, friend. I know you might not be interested in this, but I'm going to be doing a 2-day training on how to do commercial real estate the way that I do it. If you happen to know anybody who's looking to get in the industry, do me a favor and share their information with me. I'd love to help them. Between those two methods, I had 15 people reach out to me, and 5 people bought the course for $2,000 each. So in one day and about an hour and a half's worth of work, I generated $10,000. And you can do the exact same thing in your business if you follow those steps. Thanks for watching the video. The number one reason why small businesses fail is because entrepreneurs don't understand marketing well enough. That is why I've started my YouTube channel to help small business owners succeed in business with their marketing. If you're a small business owner and you're looking to learn more about marketing, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.